Hey, welcome back to another episode of Whiskey Row. My name is David, and today we're diving into a review of a bottle I just got in the mail, and I'm very, very excited for it. This is High West Boo Rye. Now, this is a limited release. It used to be available all over the country. Now it's a Utah-only thing, or you can get it off of their website, and I actually did go check, and they have it on their website right now with limited distribution to certain states. So if this is of interest to you, go to their website, check it out. You might be able to get it sent to you. This thing retails for $125, and I've had a bottle of it before. This is the original bottle of it I had here, which came from maybe 2020. Something in that neighborhood. And I figured, why not put them up against each other? And then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, you know, I've got another Boo Rye that's pretty legendary, which is the Redwood Empire Lost Monarch. And this is a great product coming out of California that is a blend of bourbon and rye whiskey. So I said, what the heck, let's put it up against it. And then I said, well, you know, the Boo Rye is really just a blend of bourbon and rye. And I've got bourbon and rye, so why don't I try to make my own to see if you're in a place where you can't buy the High West Boo Rye that just came out. If you can't buy it, and maybe you could make your own. So what I did is I blended 50-50, an 8-year age-stated MGP 95.5 rye, and then I blended it with an MGP Penelope. So it was a Penelope Architect. So what, 5-6 year Penelope, something like that. And I blended the two of them 50-50. And so I figured, hey, let's put all four of these up against each other and see how they go. Now, we're not going to do a true blind. It's not really about which is better. It's just kind of about the differences, because this is a bottle that's, frankly, it's a limited release. It's hard to get, but people find it really interesting and it's really well thought of. So is it as good as the old one? Is it better than something that you can get almost anywhere now, which is the Redwood Empire? And can you make your own and have the same experience if you can't get the actual product? So let's dive into it. If you end up finding this helpful, enjoyable, or entertaining in the least, please smash that like button. If you haven't, I would appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel. Now let's get these bottles out of the way, the glasses in front of me, and we'll get to work. So what we've got in front of me is we have the new one, the old one, the Redwood Empire, and mine, which is my blend that I made because I'm a master blender of whiskeys. But anyway, let's talk about them on the nose. Okay, on the nose, this smells really good. This has a really dominant kind of caramel, some light fruit notes, just a little bit of rye grain. Getting an ever so faint little bit of evergreen. It's super, super, super minimal. But it's got this really nice baking spice quality about it. Smells pretty darn good. Let's go to the nose of the old one. The nose on the old one has a little bit of an older, mustier smell, in a good way. It's got less sweet notes than this one, the new one. They're pretty similar. But again, this has a little bit of a more older, agey quality to it. And this is more sweet and a little bit more vibrant. Then compared to the Redwood Empire, the Boo Rye comes across a little bit more sweet on the nose, a lot more deep and thick and viscous. The Redwood Empire smells really, really good. I love the nose on it, but it honestly is a little bit grainy. This is more well put together than the Redwood Empire. And then see how mine compares. The nose on mine is actually got a little bit more cotton candy and sweetness. This one is a little bit more rye heavy. This one smells more of what I would say is traditional MGP nose. This is a little bit more settled. And this is more sweet. So on the nose, there's some differences there. This is really pleasant on the nose. There's nothing wrong with it. But it doesn't come together quite as well as this. And again, I blended it today, so it might settle with, you know, a little more time to let those marry. It might settle a little bit. Let's try these though. On the palate, you get a little bit of cotton candy sweetness, which I didn't get on the nose at all. Really nice viscous mouthfeel. A little bit of an age note there. A little bit of a very, very mild tobacco spice. Some got a little bit of a cooling kind of mint. It doesn't taste minty, but it has a kind of a cooling mint feel to it. It's nice, viscous, syrupy in the mouth. Nothing to complain about at all. It's one of those where you get just a little bit of the ryeness and a little bit of the bourbonness. Really nice whiskey quality all around. A little bit of age, a little bit of barrel must, just very mild barrel mustiness. And it's like the aged barrel thing going on. It's really, really pleasant. Let's try the old version that I have. See how it compares, if it's getting better or getting worse. The older version tastes older, age-wise. You get a lot more, not a lot, but somewhat more tobacco. You get a little bit of a leatheriness. You get a little bit stronger musty barrel. The old one drinks higher proof. They're the same proof, but the old one drinks higher proof. This is very easy sipping. And the older one I've had open for, it's got a lot more spice to it. Yeah, a lot more spice. The old one I've had open for probably 2 years now. So it's been open for a long time. This one I just opened. So if anything, this is going to soften over time, the new one, after it's been open for a couple weeks. So it's going to be even more of a difference in that spiciness, because that old one is very spicy to me. Okay, let's try the Redwood Empire. Ooh, yeah, the Redwood Empire is a lot youthier, lot greener tasting. It's still really, really good. And I've always loved the Lost Monarch. I think the Redwood Empire Lost Monarch's a tremendous bottle, but it is only, $40, $35, $40. And these are $120 whiskeys. So you're not comparing apples and apples, right? So you're definitely doing a miscomparison in a way. But I wanted to see how this available bottle that's affordable and available compares. You don't get the depth of flavor. You don't get the mouth feel that both of the Boo-Ryes are giving me from High West. The Redwood Empire, in addition to being a little bit more youthful, has a little bit more rye-ness to it. It's a little bit more rye heavy and rye dominant. The flavor notes tend to be a little brighter, a little greener. The Boo-Ryes, both of them, tend to be a little bit better put together. Let me go back to the new one. There's one spot on the new one where I think it will get a little sweeter once it's been opened a little bit and has a little chance to get some air in there. I think it'll help it just a little bit. It's really nice, but there's this one part of the flavor where it's got this thickness, but it doesn't have the flavor to go with the thickness, if it makes sense. So I think that's the sweetness that'll come in once it's open for a little bit. Anyway, let me try the blend that I made, my master blend. Okay, that's disgusting. Oh, that's bad. Ooh, my master blend was not a master blend. It's pretty rough. The bourbon and rye are fighting each other. Now, again, I just blended them today, so it might take time for it to settle into something delicious. I'm not going to give it a chance. It's too funky. I'm getting a ton of dill. I'm getting a ton of ooh, yeah. It's like it's accentuating the harshness of the bourbon and the the less desirable notes of the rye. I'm getting fennel and dill very strongly. So yeah. So one of the things about the Boo-Rye is it's a blend of bourbon and rye, and I believe this year they're using a little bit of their own malted as well. So, which I'm not really getting any of the malty note. No, I don't get a graininess. I don't get any kind of malty or malted milk balls or anything. It's really pleasant. It's really nice. So I'm not picking up that note at all. Way better than my own blend. Maybe in time this would work, and maybe if I pick some different whiskeys and I could figure it out and come up with something similar to this. It's a tremendous bottle. I'm a big fan of it. 125. Is it worth $125? It's pretty good. It's pretty darn good. It kind of reminds me, if you've ever had a Murray Hill Club, how that's right at that $100 price point. And I know this is a little bit more, it's 125. But that Murray Hill Club is one of those that it's only 103 proof, but it's like every time you go back to it, you're like, I forgot how good this was. And that's how this Boo-Rye is. It's like, it's good, it's tasty, it's not high proof. If you're a proof hound and the 90 whatever 6 proof puts you off, 92 proof puts you off, maybe it's not your jam. But if you like a nice sipping whiskey, this is pretty good. Again, if you don't want to spend more than $50 for a bottle of whiskey, you don't have to. There's great whiskeys. And you might be able to create a really, really nice Boo-Rye by blending Old Forester 100 and Old Forester 100 rye. those two might blend really, really well into a delicious, delicious whiskey. You know, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to try that, because that would be better than this. I'm almost guaranteeing that would be better than that. Anyway, thank you so much for checking this video out. Hopefully you found it interesting. If you did, please smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And until next time, find a bottle you love.